Hello everybody, I'm the Bruni, and welcome back to Elements of Justice, Crusading for Turnabout, Case 2, Episode 6. And it's looking like this is still the investigation part, so we're not going to get most of the answers, maybe. But yeah, sorry it took me so long to get to this one. Just tried other things, and then everything else just didn't work for me. Literally tried to do 2 gaming videos. One of them had doubled recording, which was terrible. Doubled audio, so it was like say something and then repeat. And then I tried to play Halo. It was a laggy mess. So yay, this is working out great for me. Alright. Yeah, let's just get into it. Can't wait. And let us go.
Previously on Elements of Justice.
And as always, I will be pausing if I need to talk.
You've arrested Sweetie Belle!
I was well aware that Princess Luna planned to accuse me from the very beginning. My husband's job has kept him busier than usual lately. Canterlot had almost become like a second home to him. He had a travel case prepared for every time he had to go. It was seized by the police yesterday.
Miss Sugarstamp has already confessed to killing Royal Order.
Royal Order would often come up to Canterlot to keep me company.
Don't
He
believe
was a
it.
good friend.
Athena! Help! It's about Rarity's
yeah.
home! It's been broken into!
Yep, now I remember. Curso Boutique got broken into. No idea who. Ooh.
Come on, guys! We can't slow down now!
Ugh. I really regret eating all of those cupcakes.
What? Get a hold of yourself, Apollo. It's not even that far of a jog.
Cut us a break, Athena. My old legs can't run as fast as yours.
Never mind that! We're here now! Guards, surround the perimeter. If you see some pony attempting to leave, stop them and let us know.
Yes, Princess.
Now, where's Rarity? She has to know what's happening.
I don't know. I don't see her anywhere.
Twilight! Rarity!
There she is.
This is awful, dreadful, horrendous. To think I could experience something so barbaric.
Ms. Rarity, please, you need to calm down.
Calm down? How in Equestria can I be calm after... Wait a moment. Aren't you...
There's no time for introductions. What happened here?
Right. I was still worried about my dear sister. So worried, in fact, that I feared I may faint.
Of
I
course.
returned home in order to decompress. But after I'd unlocked the door to go inside, I saw that some pony had broken in. Oh, this is the impossible thing! I happened to be nearby when I heard Rarity scream. When I went to check up on her, she told me to come find you guys while she stayed here.
What? You shouldn't have done that, Rarity. What if the intruder had a weapon? You could have gotten hurt.
Well, I couldn't just leave. If I did, they might have gotten away without any pony noticing. And while I appreciate your concern, Apollo, I'll have you know I've gotten into and out of a few scrapes myself. I can handle a bit of danger. Besides, we're here now.
Yeah.
Now, whoever is in that boutique will have to deal with all of us.
Yeah, you've got a point. But you haven't seen any pony leaving yet, have you?
No pony.
Were any of the doors or windows unlocked before we got here? Maybe they managed to sneak out that way.
I always lock all my doors and windows whenever I leave home. When I got back here, they were still locked.
Maybe the intruder managed to unlock them with a spare key?
Well, that would be impossible, darling. You see, I have the only key to my residence.
And lockpicking would be out of the question, since he would have noticed if any of the locks themselves have been tampered with.
Quite so.
But wait, if they couldn't have gotten inside through any of the openings, how did they break in?
I think the answer is quite obvious.
It is.
Teleportation.
It's occurred to you as well, hasn't it, Mr. Wright?
Right. If all the doors and windows were locked, and
Magical
Rarity
means.
has the only key, then the only way Sunpony could have entered the shop would be through magical means. Specifically, teleportation.
Yeah, that's gotta be it.
But why? Why would some pony break into my shop? It seems to me the only way we'll figure out why is to investigate the scene itself. Rarity, could you show us in? Of course. If you all could follow me.
That music was awesome. Wow.
They must not have had time to clean up after themselves. Just look at this place.
They knocked over that pony mannequin. The poor thing.
Maybe spare some sympathy for whoever just left. Look, that's definitely blood.
Huh?
Ugh. To think that blood would spill in my own home.
But it's not a whole lot, it's just a few drops here and there.
You think it could be the perpetrators?
It seems very likely. Assuming only one pony was here while Rarity was away, it must be theirs.
But there's nothing sharp in this room from what I can tell. So, how did they get injured?
Yeah, I was just about to ask.
Aha! Look,
Huh? What, Sonata?
it's a bit hard to see, but if you look at the floor closely, there are patches of white fur scattered around.
Oh, Opal!
Whoa! I didn't even see that at all. They almost completely blend in with the floor.
Wait, I know where these patches of fur came from.
Opal.
They're from...
Opal?
My cat! Where's my kitty? If that ruffian did anything to my little kitty, I will... Oh, opalescence! Oh, thank goodness you're safe! Wait... Rarity! What's wrong? Opal's claws! They're covered in blood! What?
I think that explains it then.
Yeah.
The drops of blood on the floor, the scattered fur, the knocked over mannequin, and the blood on Opal's claws. Put these pieces together and we get a clear picture of what happened.
Yeah.
There was definitely some sort of altercation that occurred here. The intruder must have teleported in, since that's the only way they could have entered. But when they did, they must have startled Rarity's cat. Opal would have attacked them, leading to the intruder knocking over the mannequin and getting scratched. That would explain those bloodstains on the ground and the blood on Opal's claws.
That seems to be the most likely scenario, but of course, that doesn't explain why they would have teleported in.
Maybe they were trying to steal something?
Oh, I don't think so, Apollo. I've scoured every inch of this floor, and I can say with utmost certainty that nothing is missing. Really? Does that mean the intruder didn't even teleport in to steal from you?
Either that, or Opal scared them off before they could.
True.
While we're here,
Follow the bloodstain.
Mr. Wright, is digging through trash some sort of new hobby you've picked up recently?
no, this is a really relevant investigation technique.
Right.
Anyway, look, see what's inside?
Yeah, a bunch of leaves, vines, branches. Not exactly the kind of stuff that you expect to see in a high-class boutique's trash can.
Most certainly not. That looks like the stuff you'd find in some dingy, horrid place.
Dingy and horrid. Very apt words to describe a place I'm sure we're all familiar with.
The Everfree Forest.
Boss?
This has been bothering me for a while, but I think I now have a possible answer.
Oh.
Do you guys remember what happened the last time we were here?
We're gonna get an answer?
You mean with Sweetie Belle?
Yeah, she had 5 Cyclocks.
Excuse me, Sweetie Belle, was it?
Yeah?
I've been looking around and I couldn't help but notice that there is something a little unusual in your trash can. An assortment of leaves, vines, and branches. That doesn't seem like the kind of thing Rarity would have collected. Do you have any idea on what that's about?
You're saying Sweetie Belle did this then?
I don't want to make any rash judgments, but considering what these are, and if we allow ourselves to think Sweetie Belle put them in the trash at some point...
Then that further proves Sweetie Belle was in the forest that night.
What? That can't be true! Scootaloo didn't mention anything about Sweetie Belle being there! And I don't remember Sweetie Belle ever leaving home! Well, we were all at Pinky's party that night, so there's no way of knowing what she did until you got back, which, if I recall, was very late.
Not to mention that she was refusing to cooperate with us when we questioned her. And the cherry on top is the blood found at the statue. It was hers, so that's at least proof she was in the area.
In that
But
case,
why?
we need to get her to talk. She must know something.
The only way we'll get that to happen is if we gather enough information and evidence to use against her. By then, she would have to tell us what she knows.
It's settled then. Once we feel like we found enough evidence to prove what Sweetie Belle did in the forest, as well as why, we'll speak with her.
Speaking of the Everfree Forest, I just thought of something.
What is it?
Hey, Apple Bloom?
Yes, Athena?
I've been thinking. Twilight said yesterday that you may know more about the Timberwolves. They seem to be a big part of this case, so I'd like more information on them. Are they normally aggressive towards ponies?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, normally they keep to themselves in the Everfree Forest. Any pony who wanders too far in risks getting attacked by them. Like when my Granny Smith was just a filly, she had to deal with them a whole bunch. But she told me there's a specific way to scare them off.
A specific way?
Timberwolves don't like certain noises. It messes with their heads and makes them all jumpy and scared. If you make that noise, you're guaranteed to make them scared.
A certain noise? Like what?
Granny said something about using pots and pans, so I reckon the best noise to make is a loud clang.
Clangs?
So then the clang that happened in the forest.
It could have been some pony's way of scaring off the Timberwolves.
But there were 2 clangs that night, according to Silver Spoon. One of them could have been made in order to scare off the Timberwolves. And we can probably infer that that one was made near the statue, since that's where the Timberwolves were. But where did the other one come from? And why was it made?
I don't know. That's something we still have to figure out.
At least we got that
It
information.
seems like this is all we can get from here right now. The police should be here any second to conduct their own investigation.
In which case, we'd better leave so as not to interrupt them.
What should we do now?
I suggest heading to the Everfree Forest. We can probably get in there now that Private Eye's returned from Canterlot.
Apple Bloom, you should probably head home now. I'd imagine Applejack's worried about you. Yeah, I know. I hope you guys figure something out then. I don't like that Sweetie Belle's still trying to keep stuff from us. It's making me anxious.
We'll figure it out, Apple Bloom. Don't you worry. Huh.
Huh?
So this is Froggy
What was
Bottom
that?
Bog. It's so swampy. Well, that's the kind of place it is.
Hey, look over there. Is that Poison Joke?
And an awful lot of it, too. Careful you don't wander into it, Apollo.
Like I ever do that. There's no way I'm risking getting a joke pulled on me. What if it makes me lose my voice?
Ah, I see that all of you have made it. Good afternoon, my friends.
Love Private Eye.
Private Eye!
I'm rather surprised you got here so quickly. I trust you've been making some headway in your own investigation.
Something like that. But it seems like the more we discover, the more questions we end up asking.
Yep.
Well, we should be able to clear up at least some of those questions right now, if I'm not mistaken. Do you have what we asked to see back in the detention center, Private?
I do indeed. However, I believe it would be pertinent to first show you what we've managed to uncover at the bog.
What you've uncovered?
Helmet?
We
His
found this
helmet.
on some rocks near where the mouth of the river flows into the swamp. As you can see, on the right side, there is a distinct puncture. Does it seem familiar to you?
That's the same spot where the head wound was found on the body discovered at the castle.
Precisely, Princess Twilight. But
He's wearing
here's
his
another
helmet?
curious observation.
That's blood.
But whose is it?
We aren't sure. At the moment, we are still testing the sample, but it's highly likely it belongs to the victim. That would mean the helmet likely does too.
So he was
How
wearing
come
his
you
helmet.
only found the helmet? Shouldn't the rest of the armor be around here too?
One would think so, but we haven't found any trace of the remaining pieces.
He wouldn't just wear
Of
his
course,
helmet.
that may be because we are in Froggy Bottom Bog. This is a deep and dangerous mire, and a variety of deadly creatures inhabit these waters. So dangerous is this area that more than a few ponies have lost their lives. But not just to the monsters. If you get caught in the swamp, it is nearly impossible to avoid drowning. We have good reason to believe that the rest of the armor has already sunk to the bottom of the bog, since we couldn't find it anywhere along the riverbed.
I regret asking then.
To think that Royal Order would take his son here, of all places to train him.
Indeed. And the missing armor suggests that whoever killed Royal Order at the clearing likely disposed of his armor in the nearby river before moving him.
Whoever meaning Sugar Stamp?
I'm afraid so, yes.
That can't be right! Aside from the fact that she confessed, you haven't found any conclusive evidence that proves her guilt.
Except they have found conclusive evidence. That incriminating evidence you spoke of back at the detention center, which you found when you were in Canterlot, could you tell us what it is? Huh? Why does he look nervous all of a sudden?
Very well. I suppose I can tell you about that. As you know, I had been in Canterlot in order to report all the case's developments to Lawkeeper Equity. After our meeting, my team and I tracked Sugar Stamp to her home. After we'd apprehended her, we searched her house for clues. We discovered her mailbag, and inside it, the incriminating evidence itself.
And what was that?
A letter opener. Here. You can see why it is so incriminating.
It's got blood on it.
This is...
Blood.
Blood. Don't tell me.
We already tested both items. The blood
Okay.
belongs to Royal Order. On top of that, the shape of the blade matches the hole in the helmet, which makes this letter opener the murder weapon.
Wow.
This is insane. Could Sugar Stamp really have
Why?
killed Royal Order? The weapon and bag speak for themselves, as does the blood, but...
Hold it! That can't be everything, though!
Drusy!
Come on, Daddy. You know as well as I do that evidence can be planted. All this stuff may tell us how Sugar Stamp may have killed Royal Order, but nothing's told us why.
That certainly was the case before, yes.
Huh?
No.
You're telling us you found a motive when you apprehended Sugar Stamp?
Not quite, Miss Sonata. I can show you what I mean, but I believe it'll make more sense if we move deeper into the bog.
Deeper?
The bog.
Where to?
The mirror pool.
No. Do not tell me Sugar Stamp knew about the miracle too.
What? Where's the boulder?
Gone.
There was a boulder here. It's gone now.
The one you mentioned yesterday?
Yes. The one that I put here to seal the entrance.
Oh, Is that it over there?
Yes! That's it!
When I first found the cave, it was already open like this. My team and I didn't really think much of it. But if this boulder really was originally on top of the cave,
Then it's just as we thought. Royal Order really did come here to clone himself. He must have been the one to move the boulder.
At any rate, you said you could show us Sugarstamp's motive, Private Eye.
I did. Right this way, if you would, please.
No.
So this is the mirror pool. Kinda underwhelming, actually.
What were you expecting? Actual mirrors to show up?
No, yes, I don't know. Something more than just a pool, I guess. This is Equestria, after all. I wouldn't have thought that the name could be so conventional.
Never mind the naming conventions. Private Eye, what did you want to show us?
That bag.
Well, my team hasn't uncovered a great deal. I did want to follow up on your earlier request regarding that travel case. We finished our examination of its contents and have left it here for you to see.
But what does this have to do with showing us Sugarstamp's motive?
Have a look, and I believe you'll discover what I mean.
Alright.
Don't tell me he was cheating. Do not.
Toothbrush, towel, that same family photo. So far, nothing really
Don't.
all that relevant.
Don't tell me.
Huh? Wait, what's this? Some kind of letter?
It's his love.
What's it say, Athena?
No, 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 no.
Dear Royal Order, I really can't begin to express how grateful I am
for everything that you've done for me. I've always known you were a noble soul, but somehow you managed to just keep surprising me. All those extended stays in Canterlot you've made, just to be with little old me. Oh, it's enough to make a mare swoon. It's a shame, though. I know you have your duties back home, but still, it hurts whenever you have to leave. I wish you never had to. Our time together, it means so much to me, and I know it means so much to you too. At least, I like to think so. But then you had to go home for Hearts and Hoofs Day instead of spending it with me. I know, you can't stay away from them forever. Sometimes you're just too noble for your own good, you know? But I do hope you don't stay away from me for much longer either. Come see me as soon as you get the chance.
obsessed.
I miss you already.
She was obsessed with him.
Sugarstamp?
Sugarstamp?
No, no, no.
No way! There has to be some kind of mistake! Royal Order wouldn't... Sugarstamp wouldn't... Would she...
There's more, isn't there?
What more?
Look, it's some kind of journal. It must have belonged to Royal Order.
What's it say?
It's his planner.
Looks like only the first few pages have been filled out. February 10th. Meet with Sugarstamp.
Sugarstamp.
February 11th. Canterlot Library. Research duplication magic.
Tell
If no
Sugarstamp.
success, tell Sugarstamp I must stay with my family.
No.
February 12th. Locate Mirrorpool. Perform cloning spell. And meet Sugarstamp at Everfree Forest Clearing, 10:10 p.m.
He didn't go into the.
Private Eye?
Before you ask, yes. We confirmed that the writing in this letter matches Miss Sugarstamp's, and the writing in the journal matches Royal Order's. I checked and double-checked that one personally.
So this is what it's been all about. This is what he was trying to do that night, and why he had been away from home a lot more than usual.
Cheating?
He was having an affair with Sugarstamp.
Come
Obviously, he couldn't let his
on.
family know, but it looks like he also didn't want to choose between either her or Fair Devotion. And that's why...
cloned himself so that he could be with them both.
No. Oh my gosh, that was oh. We're only on scene 3. Come on, are you serious? I really was hoping that was not the case. This makes it even worse. He didn't go to look for his son. Well, either he did, or... But he made clones of himself so he could be with both of them. And yes, that may not be what actually is happening, but this is what it's lining up to be. I really hope that's not the case. Because if it is, that's a royal guardsman of all things.
Then, why would Sugar Stamp kill him?
I don't think she
If
did.
he succeeded, wouldn't this have meant she'd be with him forever?
Maybe not even that was enough.
What do you mean?
Look at the letter that Sugar Stamp wrote. She sounds kind of possessive of Royal Order.
Obsessed
Maybe
even.
to the point that she couldn't bear the thought of having to share him with any pony else.
But the clone? It may not have been Royal Order. Or at least not the one that Sugar Stamp wanted. The clones aren't perfect. They lack the memories of the original. We can't know now which was which, but
Even if she got to stay with the original, the fact that he cloned himself at all would only serve as a reminder that, when it came down to it, he couldn't choose her over his family. He had to make 2 of himself and give her 1, rather than give himself all to her. And as a result, she may have killed him. It's strange. I don't doubt my reasoning, but if it's true, why couldn't I detect any of this when we were talking to Miss Stamp earlier? She sure didn't sound possessive or bitter to me.
Yeah,
There's one other item I wish to show you. It's about the anonymous tip that led to Turning Page's arrest.
You mean you have it?
I do.
don't tell me
Here
it was
it
Sugar
is.
Stamp.
What the? It's in magazine cutouts too?
What's it say, boss?
It says, Turning Page is the one who killed his father in the Everfree Forest?
What? Private Eye, you said this letter had been under strict examination. Have you discovered who sent it?
Not quite, Miss Sonata. Everything we've uncovered has been circumstantial at best. However, we now have reason to believe that the true killer mailed this to the police in order to frame Turning Page.
No pony saw it being dropped off, though.
I'm afraid not. It was placed outside the entrance to the Ponyville police station without any pony noticing. It was around 4:45 when a pair of officers brought it in. I doubt it could have been there for long. We were unsure if it could even be trusted until we started our inquiries.
Inquiries?
Well, since the letter claimed that Turning Page was in the forest, we decided to ask Zakora if he was. She confirmed that she saw him. As you will recall from today's trial, Turning Page was subsequently arrested on suspicion of involvement. When we questioned him, he also confirmed that he was in the forest. As a result, we assumed that the anonymous tip was legitimate. And so, Turning Page was indicted for the crime.
But now that Turning Page has been found innocent,
Then the next matter was to discern the true author of this letter. Sadly, we haven't made much progress. But
But because of what you've uncovered regarding Sugar Stamp, you believe she's the true sender.
it's still circumstantial, but yes. She was in Ponyville on the day the letter was delivered, after all.
Right. That was when she gave Athena and me our badges.
Moreover, if it's true that she killed Royal Order for the reasons you've concluded, then this tip would be her attempt to further punish him for not choosing her over his family. He hurt her, so she hurt his son.
Sins of the father.
Wow.
It's weird that this tip was made from magazine cutouts. I wonder.
Was she at the trial?
Mr. Wright found that magazine in Diamond Tiara's house. I know Private Eye believes Sugar Stamp sent this, but could it have been Diamond Tiara instead? If so, then why? The more I think about it, the more I realize how complicated Royal Order's relationships were. His son adored him, but didn't get to spend as much time with him as he would have wanted. His wife had a complicated relationship with him. And now Sugar Stamp. Wait. There's one more relationship at play here, isn't there? Back during the trial.
He certainly was the epitome of a Royal Guards pony.
Royal Guardsman.
His death will surely echo a great sense of loss for both his country and those close to him.
His friends.
Private Eye, I have a bit of an odd question for you.
Oh? What is it, Miss Sykes?
It's just, you knew Royal Order, didn't you? Personally?
That is an odd question. What makes you think that?
When you were talking about what his death would mean during the trial, you sounded far more sorrowful than I'd expect from the lead investigator. And just now, you told us you were the one who checked over the writing in Royal's journal, almost as if you had a personal reason to see to that task specifically. I am almost certain of it. You two were friends, weren't you?
I'm not much for talking about myself, if I'm being honest. But yes, that is correct. Royal Order and I went to the same school when we were foes. Celestia's School for Gifted Unicorns.
Wait! That school? The same one I went to?
It would have been long before your time, I would imagine. You were the top of your class, I presume?
Yes. How'd you know?
You're a princess.
Quite simply, it has to do with your bearing. You carry yourself in a way that suggests you are academically gifted. I carried myself in a similar fashion during my school days.
So that must mean you were also a top student.
I was. And Royal Order, though perhaps not always willing to apply himself in his studies as I was, did his best to support me. We became fast friends. But, as with all things, our lives changed. We eventually had to go our separate ways. Royal Order graduated and went on to become a cadet of the Royal Guard. Meanwhile, I chose to become an apprentice at the Equestrian Bureau of Intelligence, the EBI for short.
Nice.
The Equestrian Bureau of Intelligence?
It's Equestria's premier intelligence agency, assisting in handling all sorts of criminal activity. The head of the agency was actually my mentor. He's considered a legendary detective in law enforcement circles. Intensely driven, no other pony I've ever met has matched the sheer scope of his investigative prowess. Working with him was a supreme honor, and perhaps one of the hardest things I've ever had to do.
Really? Why's that?
Let's just say he didn't earn his legendary status over simple ten-a-penny mysteries and easy detective work. It is barely an exaggeration to say he worked me to the bone to earn my place there at the agency.
You must have been quite busy then. Did you and Royal Order try to keep in touch?
We did, though a law enforcement officer's duty never ends. And though Royal Order's duties frequently occupied him, we both tried to meet up on occasion. I also had the pleasure of meeting his wife, Fair Devotion, a few times, whenever she'd come up to Canterlot to visit her husband.
So she does know him then.
And when was the last time you saw Royal Order?
That would have been the night he was killed. He'd been in Canterlot, as you know, and I caught him just as he was heading home to Ponyville. Of course, I couldn't have imagined what would happen next, but even so, if I had stopped him for even a moment longer...
Don't worry, Private Eye.
Miss Sykes?
We'll bring Royal Order's killer to justice, no matter who that pony may be.
Royal Order was my only friend, really. Both as a child and as an adult. If there's anything more I can do to help, just say the word.
We'll keep that in mind. Stay strong, Detective.
Thank you, truly. And good luck to you all.
I suppose that more or less confirms it. Sugar Stamp likely is our killer.
I still can't believe it. She seems so nice. Was it all just one big lie?
And going as far as to incriminate Turning Page, even if it makes sense, she must have seriously hated Royal Order. Or loved him to the point of hating him.
But what about that anonymous tip? Sure, Sugar Stamp could be the one to have sent it, but it's still highly suspect that no pony saw her do it.
Not to mention it was made from magazine cutouts. I'm sure you noticed it too, Athena.
Yeah. They reminded me of the one we found in Diamond Tiara's house.
Wait, what magazine?
This one. Here, I took a photo of it while we were there.
This is a rather low-quality photo, Mr. Wright.
Well, I didn't have a lot of time to take a better one.
More than that, it's impossible for us to tell if the magazine has any cutouts, let alone if they match the ones on the tip. We'd need to obtain the magazine itself.
But doesn't that mean we don't really know who sent the tip? Maybe Sugar Stamp didn't frame Turning Page then.
But that doesn't mean she couldn't be Royal Order's killer.
That's true.
What were you all doing at Diamond Tiara's house anyway?
Well, initially we wanted to go over their testimonies one more time, to see if we'd missed anything. But they didn't have anything new to say.
They?
Yeah. Diamond Tiara and her friend, Silver Spoon.
Silver Spoon. Ah, you mean the filly who lost a lens from her glasses?
Yeah. Wait. A lens? As in, just one?
Huh?
You didn't know. The shards found at the scene were reconstructed into only a single lens, meaning the other must have remained intact in the frame.
Only one, huh?
That's not what she said.
Silver Spoon didn't mention anything about that in either the trial today or when we went to see her.
Did she forget?
Maybe I'd better make a note of that, just in case.
Which means she would still have one good eye.
In any case, we should move on to the clearing itself. We might find some answers there.
Right. Let's get going.
Dang, we're still in Every Forest. Oh my.
Who's that pony over there?
I think she's saying something, but I'm not sure.
How long has it been since we were together? I suppose it goes back to our days in the Royal Guard. Fresh recruits, hoping to do our duty and serve. If things had continued on as they were, I wonder where we would be. Would we have remained a team, or were we always destined to walk our own paths? Perhaps we'll never know. Our paths diverged, and you threw the first stone. Regardless, I do know that you deserved much more than this, Royal Order. In your memory, and as Lawkeeper, I'll press on with what I must do.
That's equity.
I know if you were in my horseshoes, you'd do the same.
Slothkeeper Equity.
Should we let her know that we're here?
Maybe we should wait for her to finish. I think she needs some space.
No need, Twilight Sparkle. I'm just about finished.
Slothkeeper Equity.
Are you? Equity?
Lawkeeper, Equity. And you must be the humans making waves across Equestria with your courtroom antics. A pleasure to finally meet you.
Right. Likewise. So, Lawkeeper Equity, what are you doing here anyway?
I didn't realize you needed a reason to privately pay respects to one of my fallen soldiers.
Your soldiers?
In addition to my duties as Lawkeeper, I'm a lieutenant in the Royal Guard. It's my responsibility as an instructor to train the
Didn't
guard
know
to
that.
serve and protect the princesses. Although, recent events have made me question whether or not they remembered their training.
Royal Order was a member of the Royal Guard, so it makes sense that you would train him.
Not quite. I may have been his lieutenant, but he and I were cadets in the same class. Unlike his fellow recruits, he showed much promise, quickly rising with me through the ranks. If not for his death, he would have made a fine captain.
Wait, he was going to become captain of the Royal Guard? Like my brother was? Your brother?
After your brother's engagement to Cadence and moving to the Crystal Empire, some Ponyells needed to take up the responsibility of captain. Royal Order would have been an ideal candidate for that position.
Captain of the Royal Guard.
That's a lot more than just being a member. Why didn't anyone say anything?
Doesn't that contradict what Private Eye and Princess Luna said during the trial? They would have known about Royal Order becoming the next captain, right?
Oh, they definitely knew. They just didn't want to see it. There was nothing special about his rank, his title, anything at all?
Well, as a detective, I can only know so much. What do you think, Princess Luna?
It's just as Detective Eye says. As someone who gave the victim his orders, I can say with certainty that there was nothing that set him apart from the other guards in our entourage.
They lied. Well, misled us is probably more accurate. I don't think he was captain yet, after all. Point is, they knew and they didn't want to tell us.
But why?
You all seem to have a great deal of trust in Private Eye and Luna. It's a shame that they aren't as open to reciprocating that trust.
What's that supposed to mean?
You should know. From the very beginning, you've been kept in the dark, stumbling your way through this case. Meanwhile, every Ponyells involved knew more than you. Luna, the judge, Private Eye, even those children. Luna has held all the cards the moment she took on this case. Even during the trial, she played you, guiding you to where she wanted you to go. All this, and she didn't even tell you a word of what she was planning, as if she didn't trust you to defend your clients. Don't you find her actions to be a bit deceptive? Perhaps there's a bit of Nightmare Moon in her still.
Nightmare Moon? So, the statue. Is this Nightmare Moon?
Yup, back when she was still evil.
Still evil?
Why don't we talk about this another time?
I knew she looked familiar. But what does this?
You don't know? I suppose that's to be expected. It's not a story the princesses would have told you.
I think you're long overdue for an explanation, Twilight.
I know. I'll keep it brief. Long ago, Princess Celestia and Princess Luna
Nice.
ruled Equestria together. Princess Celestia would raise the sun, and Princess Luna would raise the moon. Eventually, Princess Luna grew bitter the ponies shunned the night and slept through it, which led her to refusing to lower the moon to make way for the dawn. Her bitterness transformed her into Nightmare Moon. When she wouldn't back down, Celestia was forced to banish her to the moon for 1,000 years. That's terrible. Having to fight your own sister.
But why are you bringing this up? What does Princess Luna's past have to do with anything?
Luna has a history of furtive activities. Her past especially remains something she is not so quick to divulge. But then again, she's always been less than forthcoming. She walks in the shadows of secrets and subterfuge, weaving an intricate web of knowledge and intrigue only she can access. Perhaps she feels only she can be trusted with what she knows. No doubt you have noticed it, Miss Sykes. The way she has steadfastly avoided telling you anything about herself, the way she has impeded your investigation by refusing to share pertinent details. Does that sound like some pony you can trust? Personally, things like that make it hard to take her at her word.
That's not fair to Luna. She's changed since then. And besides, it's not like she's hiding things to lead us astray. We both want the same thing.
Perhaps. Well,
Hang on a minute. Is she just saying this? I could have sworn that Lawkeeper Equity was the one who said, "Hey, we're gonna keep this all a secret." She's in the middle of all of this. I don't know how. I don't know why. She's in the middle of all of this. I'm pretty sure she even knew overall concept from the last case. But yes. But Princess Celestia and Luna are keeping her in the dark. Both princesses, not just Luna. I wonder if she's going to bring that up.
well, I suppose we all have a past. Even princesses. Wouldn't you say, Twilight Sparkle?
I'm afraid I don't know what you mean.
Where are you going?
I have business elsewhere. Worry not. I'll be staying in Ponyville to observe the case as it unfolds. It will certainly be interesting to watch your progress. A word of advice. I'd suggest not clinging so tightly to your platitudes of friendship and trusting others so easily. Trust is a very fragile thing. It takes years to build, seconds to break, and an eternity to repair. That betrayal can last a lifetime. But the thing about betrayal is that it never comes from your enemies. That may be hard for you to accept given how devoted you are to the notion of friendship. But after today, I'm sure you understand what I mean. You'd best heed my words if you wish to continue to believe in these naive ideals.
Wow.
She's intense.
First off, I just gotta say, great job on the voice actor of her. Holy crap, that was so intense, so amazing. It brought you in, and you felt like she was literally speaking directly towards you. Oh, that was great. I gotta make sure I know who's speaking her, because I would give a particular great word to her. All right, sorry.
No kidding. With a personality like hers, She makes for a good instructor.
It takes a special kind of pony to take on the mantle of lawkeeper, I suppose. But she isn't the reason why we're here.
And she...
We should investigate the clearing once again to see if we missed something. Right, you two?
And Sonata knows her.
Twilight, Athena, are you two okay?
Huh? Oh,
You look troubled, Athena.
Wasn't Lawkeeper Equity the one who sent Sonata here? For one. Two, defend Scootaloo. And another to keep on this case. Yes? Or am I thinking about that wrong?
Athena, something on your mind?
it's just what Lawkeeper Equity said about not being so quick to trust others.
Oh, come on, Athena. They're our friends. Princess Luna, Private Eye, the Cutie Mark Crusaders. We all want the same thing. Why shouldn't we trust them?
Because she wasn't wrong about Luna. She's known more about the case than we did from the very beginning, and she wasn't alone in that regard. Private Eye was keeping secrets about Royal Order being the next captain of the Royal Guard. At the very least, neither he nor Princess Luna intended on sharing that info with me when I asked. Even Scootaloo and Turning Page were keeping secrets from me, my own clients. It's my job as an attorney to defend them, but how can I if I can't trust them? Are we really all working towards the same goal, or are there more secrets I'm unaware of?
Athena, you're letting her get into your head. Yes, things haven't been going your way this trial, but that hasn't stopped you before.
Yeah, but...
In any case, we can't afford to get distracted right now. Let's try and finish investigating this scene. See if we turn up anything.
Right.
This is
Has
becoming...
any pony found anything?
No, nothing. Doesn't seem like there's anything here.
I'm inclined to agree. We've searched as thoroughly as we could. What now?
Well, we've still got 2 places left to investigate. The statue and Zeccora's hut.
Can't say I'm quite looking forward to that.
It may be best we split up for now, so that we can cover the most distance. Sonata, why don't you, Apollo, and Trucy head to the statue and investigate from there?
We'll do just that then, Mr. Wright.
Meanwhile, Twilight, Athena, and I will head over to Zeccora's. You two okay with that?
I am.
Yeah, me too.
Alright, we'll rendezvous at the detention center and compare notes then.
I know I said I'd put it out of my mind, but... Equity? I heard it in your voice just then. It wasn't just distrust. There was anger. Bubbling,
She's
seething
angry
anger.
at someone.
But also pain. Why?
She's hiding stuff. And you know that.
Huh? Hey, Twilight, look at that.
What is it, Athena?
The letters in Zeccora's mailbox? They're all gone.
I guess she managed to finally bring them in. Which means she's inside right now.
I always knew we'd end up back here. But even though the door is just within reach, why does it feel like it's so far away?
Athena?
But, boss?
It's alright. I'm sure Zeccora won't hold this against you. She doesn't strike me as a creature that'll hold a grudge.
Definitely
right,
not.
yeah, it's just... It still bothers me what happened. What I did.
Well, it'll keep bothering you until you get this over with, don't you think?
Yeah, you're right. As always, boss. Okay. Here goes. Zeccora? It's, us.
Us.
How nice to see you all come by. Please, come in, and don't be shy.
Love it.
Zeccora,
Your purpose for coming, I feel I can tell. Investigating the arrest of Sweetie Belle?
Yes. How'd you know?
The news was spreading as I left the courtroom. What other reason was I to assume?
Actually, there was one other reason. Sakura, I wanted to apologize. Again. I mean, I know I already did, but I still feel awful, and there's no way I can ever make it up to you.
Athena shouldn't be the only one apologizing.
Twilight?
Sakura, I knew what Athena would be forced to do during the trial, but I didn't go further to stop her. If I had, you wouldn't have been accused. I was too scared. And for that, I'm sorry.
Even so, it really is my fault that it happened. I jumped the gun when I shouldn't have, and...
Enough! What you had done, I can plainly see, came from your wish to set those fools free. Let's not permit our breaths to waste away on what was done in haste. My forgiveness you have already earned. Is this now not a lesson learned?
I
need no gadget to tell you're surprised. Did you think you would be further chastised?
It's just... Well, I guess I was expecting you to still be furious with me. Especially since Princess Luna was beyond angry at what I did.
Her reaction was certainly strong, of course. But rage at you might not be the lone source.
You mean, there's more to her reaction? So Princess Luna's hiding even more things from us? More motives? Than what Equity said earlier. But what about Sakura? Wait. Maybe I should ask her about that letter. Sakura! Could you show us the letter that Princess Celestia and Princess Luna sent you the other day? The one we confirmed to be from them in court?
I'm sorry, but sharing that letter now would be something the law will not allow. It was intended for me alone. I doubt this request they would condone.
Oh, right. I should have expected it wouldn't be that easy. They, no doubt, means the princesses. But what could be in that letter? And why does not knowing bother me so much?
If you don't mind, Sakura, we'd like to ask you a few questions regarding this case. It may help us in defending Sweetie Belle tomorrow.
Please ask whatever is on your mind. I'll do my best to respond in kind.
For starters, is there anything that you haven't already told us? Anything that might shed light as to what truly happened?
I'm afraid that apart from what I said in court, there is nothing else I can report.
I expected as such. It was a long shot after all.
Though, well, relevant or not, I could not say. I was searching for flowers at the bog that day.
The day of? So it must have been when you were searching for rare seeds.
If you were at the bog, does that mean you went near the mirror pool's entrance?
Indeed, for often at that spot, I can find day bloomers, the flowers I sought.
Day bloomers?
They are flowers whose petals appear whenever daybreak is drawing near.
But the cave, was the boulder removed when you got there?
It would be hard not to notice a missing rock. No, the entrance still bore its primitive lock.
That makes sense. And it was later removed by royal order when he went to clone himself that night. It all lines up.
There is another thing I should say. I found something missing from my home today.
Missing?
A healing potion, to be exact. In my cupboards, it is usually packed.
Could it have gone missing prior to the incident?
No, I am certain it was here. On the day of the murder, of that I am clear. Before I left, I checked my floor shelf and saw the potion there myself.
And you haven't returned to your hut until today, because you were being kept at the police station as a witness for the trial.
That means the potion could have gone missing any time after you left to follow the kids.
Was there evidence of a break-in?
I use no lock to secure this place. Any pony could enter and leave with no trace. But though the Everfree is home to many a beast, they wouldn't break into my home, at least.
Was this a powerful healing potion? I know you've made a few with Apple Bloom before.
It is quite strong, as you supposed, but can only mend while the wound remains closed.
closed wound. I'm assuming you don't mean stitches, but how else could you hold a wound closed?
A tourniquet would be one way, though others could work, it's safe to say.
Wait a second.
The tourniquet. I knew that looked familiar. Those shapes, those twigs. I knew that looked familiar. Sweetie Belle was making a tourniquet. Oh my gosh.
Shape.
Boss?
Athena, let me see that forensic flashlight again.
Huh? Sure thing. Here you go.
Aha. So that explains it.
Explains what, Phoenix?
I think I know what Sweetie Belle's been hiding, but we'll have to confront her about it at the detention center. We should head there as soon as possible, before visiting hours are over.
Right. Let's get going. We'll meet up with the others,
So she get
then
hurt.
head to the center afterwards. Sakura, you've been a tremendous help. Thank you.
You're welcome. I wish you all the best. But Athena, for you I have one final request.
Yeah, Sakura?
Please let accusing me weigh you down no longer. If you cannot move on, you will never get stronger. Not just for yourself, but every pony you've met. You mustn't let your goals be eclipsed by regret.
I'll try to, Sakura.
Time to break those Cyclops. And time to learn some answers.
There you guys are! Was Sakura able to help you out?
She was, so long as we were able to question Sweetie Belle.
What about you guys? Were you able to find anything additional while at the statue?
Nah.
We were.
Hmm?
It's strange. The investigation team somehow missed this before, but between the three of us, we were able to catch something. Your eyes must be rather special. Both of you.
Aw, thanks, Sonata.
Anyway, here's what we were able to find. We took this picture in the forest between the statue and clearing.
That's blood.
Whoa. What's with all these red lines on some of the trees? Are they bloodstains?
That's what we thought too. They only wrap around half of each tree, like someone had splashed them haphazardly.
Look! You can see how those rings have lines dripping down.
And they all face towards the statue area.
Did you find anything else while you were there?
No, just this. It's intriguing, but...
We're not sure what this means, to be honest, but it might be important later on.
Thank you for letting us know then.
Well, in that case, we better head inside.
Mom, I know what I want, and I know how I'm gonna do it.
That may be so, but all I'm asking is...
You're asking me to give up on my dreams of becoming a royal guard.
That is not at all what I am saying, Turning Page.
Oh, Miss Sykes, Princess Twilight, every pony. What are you doing here?
We're here to see Sweetie Belle. What about you?
We came to visit Sweetie Belle and Sugarstamp. We were just leaving.
I know it probably isn't my business, but what were you two arguing about?
I'm very curious, you see.
Not now, Widget.
Mom says I can't join the royal guard when I'm older.
No, that's not what I... Turning Page, if ever you are going to listen to me, let this be the time.
Mom?
I have nothing against you wanting to join the Royal Guard. In fact, I find it a noble pursuit, the same one your father followed when he was younger. If you have a dream, you should go for it, no matter what any pony else says, not even me. If that is what you truly want, then I want that for you too.
Mom.
But that shouldn't mean becoming so narrow-minded, so focused on this one goal that you forget about the importance of other things too. Going to school and getting an education is important. Your father had to study for all kinds of exams before he could even become a cadet. I understand you dislike school, but writing it off immediately without giving it any consideration? That will hurt your chances of getting into the Royal Guard. I'm not asking you to like school or even ace all of your quizzes, but I am asking that you don't forego your education. Can you do that? If not for me, then for your father?
Oh, okay, Mom. I'll give school a shot then. For Dad. And for you.
Thank you, Turning. I'm sorry you had to hear all that. Now, we'll get out of your hair. I'm sure Sweetie Belle needs you.
Actually, Miss Devotion, there's something I'd like to ask you.
Don't.
Wait, Athena, is this really the time for...
I suppose I can spare a few moments. What would you like to ask?
Don't you dare.
Man, talk about awkward timing. But I can't just let this go. Something about the whole thing seems fishy.
Fish?
Earlier today, we met with Private Eye and asked about the travel case that you'd given him and his team for examination. He showed us what was inside and, well...
Some of the contents are of curious note.
What's that supposed to mean?
There was a letter addressed to your husband from Sugar Stamp. She expressed fondness for him. Extreme fondness.
What? That doesn't sound like Miss Sugar Stamp at all.
I believe I understand. But you must have misinterpreted what Sugar Stamp was saying.
But the letter...
Her relationship with my husband was purely platonic, nothing more. I would expect as much, given that royal order comforted her after her husband's death. Now, I hate to rush off, but we have overstayed. And you still have to talk to Sweetie Belle, don't you? In which case, we'll get going. Come along, Turning.
She knew.
Oh, okay.
She knew.
Bye, every pony. It was nice to see you all again.
She took that rather well, if I'm being honest. I would have expected her to be a bit more upset.
She already knew.
It's definitely strange. Maybe she really believes that Sugar Stamp and Royal Order weren't together.
Maybe.
Does she? I think Farah knows more about this relationship than she's letting on.
Yep.
Her voice didn't even carry the tiniest hint of surprise when I brought it up.
She already knew.
Still, she's right about one thing. We do have to talk to Sweetie Belle. Let's go.
Time to break the Cyclops. Let's do it.
What the...
Is that a magic dampening ring?
It's a magic nullifier. They must have given it to Sweetie Belle so that she can't light her horn.
A nullifier? I don't remember
Wow.
Turning having one.
He must have. It was probably hidden by his mane.
I guess. Actually, come to think of it... So that's what that was. Hey, Sweetie Belle.
Sweetie Belle? Are you okay?
I guess.
She's totally out of it. I can't blame her, though. But I really need her to open up a bit. How can I get her to start talking? You know, Sweetie Belle, earlier today we went and visited Scootaloo.
You did? Oh, that's nice. How is she?
She's concerned about you.
She is? Oh, you don't have to lie, Athena. I bet she really hates me right now.
But she doesn't. She really is worried. Worried about what'll happen to you.
We also talked to Diamond Tiara and Silver Spoon, too. Even they were shocked that you'd been arrested.
Even Silver Spoon? I wouldn't have thought...
Yeah, and both Silver Spoon and Scootaloo asked us if we'd help you. Alright, that's a start. At least she's opening up a little.
She's also doing
We
her
want
toe.
to help you, Sweetie Belle. That's why I'd like to ask if you'd have me defend you in court tomorrow. Rarity already gave us permission, but I wanted to ask you too. But, in order for me to defend you properly, we'd like to ask you a few questions.
Do you have to? The guards have been questioning me all day. Now I know how Scootaloo felt.
We know, Sweetie Belle, but please.
Okay. I'll do my best to answer your questions.
Boss, you want to handle this?
Yep.
Yeah, I'll take it from here, Athena. Sweetie Belle, do you mind telling us what you were doing 2 nights ago?
Take that!
Wait, thought it was 5.
There's no point in denying it, Sweetie Belle. We know you were in the forest on the night of the murder. The analysis of the blood found at the statue confirmed as such. We also know, based on the events of today's trial, that Royal Order was also there. His blood was mixed with some of yours. The question is, why was your blood spilled at that scene?
I really don't know, Mr. Wright. Maybe it was a mistake?
It definitely wasn't a mistake, Sweetie Belle. Our friend Sonata can confirm that, since she conducted the test herself along with Private Eye. But more than that, I think I have an idea as to why your blood was found at the scene.
You do?
I don't think you're the killer, so I doubt the victim was the one to draw your blood. Instead, I believe you lost some blood thanks to
Timberwolves.
Take that!
I don't suppose you recognize this?
Yeah? It's a Timberwolf.
I see that you realize what this means. That night wasn't horrific just because of the murder. It was also horrific because it was the hunting season for Timberwolves. When you arrived at the statue, you came across the hunting party that had made off with Royal Order's body. They must have attacked you, and that's how your blood was spilled.
But that's just a guess! Being an expert doesn't make you perfect. There's always a chance a mistake could have been made with the blood analysis.
She's still sticking with this, huh? And the Cyclock hasn't even broken. She must generally want all of this to have been some sort of mistake. Anything to get out of here, I guess.
Besides, wasn't it said that Timberwolves leave absolutely no traces of their prey? If I was attacked by them, I'd have to be the luckiest filly on the planet to still be alive right now.
The clang.
I'd say you were lucky, yes, but not in the way you're implying.
Huh?
I believe you did something to scare them away, allowing you a chance to flee. And what you did involved this piece of evidence.
Take that!
Private Eye discovered this helmet at Froggy Bottom Bog. It belonged to Royal Order. While the rest of the armor hasn't been found, it's likely that at one point this helmet was a part of the complete set. Royal Order was most likely wearing his full suit that night, since he had only just arrived home from Canterlot and didn't have time to change out of it. He must have died wearing it too, and the killer threw all of it into the river, where it came to rest in the bog.
But if the armor was found at Froggy Bottom Bog, what does it have to do with me? You're saying I was at the statue, right?
It's true, at first glance. The fact that the armor was found at the bog doesn't seem connected to the incident at the statue. However, that assumption falls apart once we take into account that there wasn't just one Royal Order that night. There were 2.
The phone!
Exactly. On the night of the murder, there were 2 Royal Orders out looking for their son. One of them went to the forest clearing, and the other headed to the statue. Prior to that, both had been at the mirror pool, where one was created from the original. Here's the sticking point. Royal Order cloning himself without having a chance to change out of his armor means that the clone was also armored.
No!
Royal Order must have been killed before you arrived. That commotion would have attracted Timberwolves to the area, and the blood would have made them stay. When you got there, the Timberwolves were still around. However, the armored corpse of Royal Order was also still there. We learned from Apple Bloom earlier today that Timberwolves can be frightened by the sound of a loud clang. You must have used those pieces of armor together to make a loud enough noise which would have scared the wolves away. They scratched you, But that's all they could do before you managed to frighten them off. That's how you managed to escape with your life.
There's one.
3 more. She's tough. I'll give her that.
You're still forgetting one thing, Mr. Wright.
Oh? And what would that be?
How about the fact that I don't have any kind of injury? Huh? You saw how much blood was there. No way that came from a tiny scratch. Whoever was bleeding must have gotten cut pretty deep. A wound like that would take a long time to heal. If I don't have a cut or a scratch on me, then I can't have gotten hurt in the first place.
The blood alone proves you were injured, but you're clearly not accepting that. I see that I have to prove it a different way. Alright, Sweetie Belle. I'll admit that you don't have any visible wounds present on you at the moment.
See?
However, that doesn't mean that you weren't injured. It just means that you must have used something to heal that injury. And I know what that something is.
Take that!
You recognize this, don't you, Sweetie Belle?
That's...
This was one of Zecora's healing potions. It's a somewhat powerful one, capable of healing all kinds of wounds. The thing is, Zecora told us that it had recently gone missing.
Missing?
Specifically, it had gone missing sometime between when Zecora went after Scootaloo and Turning, and when she was able to return to her hut today, after the trial. So it's like some pony in that time frame snuck into her house while she was gone and stole it. And that pony was you, Sweetie Belle.
There's 2.
But there wasn't any blood found on Zecora's, was there?
Blood? No, we didn't find any.
Then there you go! If I was bleeding that night, then there should be blood somewhere in her house or on the path to it. If I was as injured like you say and needed some kind of healing potion, then how could I have made it to Zecora's without leaving a blood trail?
Easily, thanks to this.
Take that!
We found this the other day in the trash at Carousel Boutique. As you can see, it's an odd collection of leaves, vines, and branches. I recall saying that this isn't the kind of stuff Rarity would have lying around, and it probably isn't anything you'd collect either. But thanks to Zecora, I just put together what it could be used for. If you use the debris like this, you can create a crude makeshift tourniquet, perfect for stopping yourself from bleeding all over the place. I should also mention that we found blood on this debris. If we were to test it, will we find that it's yours?
One more.
But aren't tourniquets supposed to be used on limbs? You don't know?
It's your right foreleg.
No!
Apollo here noticed that you always seem to touch it when you become agitated. Could it be because that's where you were injured?
You can't prove anything!
I believe I can. All I need to do is see what's under the fur on your leg. I'll bet you anything it's a large patch of healed skin.
No! Wait,
It's time to come clean, Sweetie Belle. The blood test wasn't a mistake. You were injured by those Timberwolves, bled at the Nightmare Night statue, and then fashioned a tourniquet using items taken from the forest. From there, you headed to Zecora's hut, believing that there was something in there you could use to heal your wound. And that was what happened to you in the forest that night.
Dang.
I've almost forgotten what that's like, having my secrets exposed.
But now they're out there, and the truth has been revealed. Isn't that right, Sweetie Belle?
Yeah. Everything you said is true.
Everything? So, you were in the forest, and you were attacked, and used Royal Order's armor to scare the wolves away? But doesn't that mean you saw whatever killed Royal Order at the statue?
And besides that, there are 2 other things we need to know. Sweetie Belle, Why were you in the forest in the first place? And what were you doing at the statue?
Sweetie Belle, it's important that you don't lie to us. If we are going to defend you tomorrow, we need to know everything that happened that night. Even if it's painful to remember.
I'm sorry, every pony, but I think I want to be alone for a bit.
What? But we haven't finished asking all of our questions.
The guard will be back any minute now to tell you visiting hours are over. He'll be ruder about it too.
Okay, fair enough.
Wow.
But even so...
And all right, fine! I accept! I accept your offer to defend me, Miss Sykes. I'll be your client.
Really? I mean, that's good to hear.
And because I'm your client, that means you have to listen to what I want, right?
And
right now, I want to be left alone! Please.
Is this all I really can do? Even after we got rid of the
still
lots,
keeping
she's
quiet.
still keeping quiet? Why? All right, Sweetie Belle. We'll leave you alone for now. We'll see you tomorrow in court.
But Athena...
Come on, guys. Let's get going.
We didn't learn anything.
Hey, guys. We're back.
Howdy, y'all.
Whoa. You guys seem tired. Especially you, Athena. You're usually full of energy.
Well, I don't think any pony was expecting an investigation like that after today's trial.
That crazy, huh?
Understatement of the year.
Twilight! My sister! How is she?
She's fine, Rarity. We were able to get as much as we could from her about what happened on the night of the murder.
That's great! Awesome! Oh, splendid! I'm sure you'll do a fantastic job defending Sweetie tomorrow.
Yeah, sure will.
What about... Wait a minute! Ah!
What's the matter?
Why is she here?
It's a pleasure to meet every pony. My name is Sonata.
Oh! You're Sonata?
Yes. I see that may be a problem.
Oh, forgive me, darling, but we've never been formally introduced. I had it in my mind that you were a particularly malignant character. But you've been so helpful lately, What? Helpful? Her?
Rainbow, she's been helping us investigate.
My blank! It's true, though. She's been really helpful. She has. From what I understand, you volunteered first to help Scootaloo. Oh, and now, you've been helping us save Sweetie Belle. You certainly have my gratitude for that alone, Sonata.
It's the least I could do.
So you trust her, Rarity?
I do. I do too, sis. I've seen Miss Sonata in action. She really wants to help us.
You know, Sonata, back when you got Rainbow tied up in your mess a year ago, I was mighty peeved about what you did. I don't take kindly to those who hurt my friends, let alone blame them for murder.
As you shouldn't.
But, well, I'd be lying if I said I wanted to hold on to this grudge forever. Rarity and Applebloom say you're helping us now. If that's true, I gotta ask, why?
Because of Mr. Wright.
You mean Phoenix? What's he gotta do with this?
Back then, during the trial, I said I didn't have any pony to protect. But then Mr. Wright asked to protect me instead. Protect me from falling deeper into a horrendous lie. I see now that that's an important thing, uncovering the truth to protect it. So many ponies lie because they were afraid of it. I used to be. But Mr. Wright taught me I shouldn't. And now I want to show others that they don't have to fear the truth. That, in fact, they should pursue it. Because in the end, the truth will help them. That's why I want to help. Because I can. And because I should.
Well, maybe you're not so bad after all, Sonata. Every pony else seems to think you're trustworthy. It seems like you're working out the mistakes from your past. I'd say that's good enough for me to trust you.
What? You guys seriously believe her? There's no way she'd help us!
I am right here, you know.
Unfortunately. Rainbow! Come on, can't you see she's trying to atone for what she did?
Let's just calm down, okay? No need to start getting nasty, right?
I'm not here for an argument, Miss Dash. I want to help. As much as I wish I could, I can't undo what I've done. All I can do is simply repent for my actions by helping those in need of it. I understand if you can't forgive me, but please, at least believe me when I say that I'm not the same mayor I once was.
I don't have to believe a word you say, and I never will! Come on, Squirt, let's go! But don't tell me you're buying this too! She's a liar, kid! And a criminal! She's the one who set me up last time!
I know what happened, yeah. But I believe her. She offered to defend me, and now she's helping us fight for Sweetieville too. So please, trust her. Please, Rainbow Dash?
Rainbow?
The rest of you might have fallen for her lies, but I won't! So I'll catch you guys later, when you've ditched her!
Dang.
That couldn't have gone any worse.
So much anger and a twinge of sadness. Because nobody shares the same feelings as her, I wonder?
It may have been better had I simply not accompanied you all here.
No, it's not your fault, Sonata. She just needs time to forgive, I mean.
Is every pony okay?
Hey, Fluttershy. Yeah, we're alright, thanks.
It's just, well, we saw Rainbow Dash flying away, and she was very mad.
She looks like she was going to explode! And not in a happy, I'm so excited way!
Yeah, we know, gals.
Where have you two been, by the way? You disappeared right after the trial, Fluttershy. And Pinkie, we haven't seen you since yesterday. And you both look exhausted, which is saying a lot for you, Pinkie.
You think?
You know how it is, Twi. Every pony's busy these days.
That doesn't answer my question, though.
Anyway, how about a glass of juice for 'em? They look parched.
Yes, I could do with a drink myself, darling. If it's not too much trouble, of course.
No, it's fine. Just give me a minute. Athena?
Yeah, Twilight?
Why don't we fill every pony in on where we're at with the investigation?
Right. Better than lingering on what just happened, I guess.
And what literally just happened. Now we got them keeping secrets? What is going on? Pinkie was hiding something. Applejack was covering. And everybody else covered as well. Why? Why is it? As soon as Equity says something, everybody starts lying.
So, we know a lot more about the victim, as well as several other relevant ponies involved in this case. Royal Order, Fair Devotion, Sugar Stamp. I think I finally have a handle on all of them now.
That's great!
Just what I'd expect from a lawyer who can save 2 ponies at once.
But I don't know what to think of Sweetie Belle.
Huh? What do you mean, Miss Sykes?
I just don't know what to do. I'm not convinced that I can even trust her after everything that's happened.
Well, why not? I mean, yeah, she's been fibbing a bit, but that don't mean you can't trust her about this.
I'm sorry, Apple Bloom, but if I'm going to win in tomorrow's trial, I need to be able to completely trust in my client. So, don't worry. I'm still going to defend Sweetie Belle. It's just going to be a little bit harder, is all.
Oh, I can't thank you enough, Miss Sykes, for agreeing to this, despite the circumstances.
You're welcome, Rarity.
Athena?
Yeah, boss?
Can I have a word with you?
Sure, what's up? It's never a good sign when your boss wants to talk.
Okay. It's about today's trial, and this case. I can see that you're trying to prove yourself in some way.
Yeah, I guess I am.
This whole doing everything by yourself attitude, I want you to drop it. Now.
Huh?
You haven't really been hiding it, Athena. You took on a case with 2 defendants at the same time and wanted to do it completely alone. And while I was content to support you, today has made me realize that your mind is in the wrong place.
What do you mean?
Like I said, wanting to do everything by yourself. It's causing more harm than good, and will continue to do so if you keep forcing yourself like this.
You mean like when I thought I had to accuse Sakura, don't you?
Yeah.
But how am I supposed to get any better? Both you and Apollo are amazing defense attorneys, and then there's me, limping behind.
Athena?
I just want to be a good attorney. One I can be proud of. One you can be proud of. One that can take on cases without having to rely on everyone's help like you.
Athena, I don't know what sort of image you have of me in your head, but that couldn't be further from the truth.
Huh?
Sure, I may be able to stand at the bench by myself from time to time, but that doesn't mean I don't ever need help. No matter the trial, there is always an ally to be found somewhere. There might be a friend by my side, a prosecutor who wants to make the truth known, a witness willing to give an honest testimony, or a fair judge. So you see, I'm rarely, if ever, alone in the courtroom.
I don't know, Mr. Wright. It's easy for you to say that, but I feel like if I don't at least try things by myself sometimes, I won't get anywhere.
Let me tell you something, Athena, about the one trial where I was truly alone, and how it turned out.
Wait, you don't mean...
I do. I'm talking about the trial that got me disbarred.
You were disbarred?
I was.
I know you mentioned that you were disbarred, but you never actually gave the reason for it. I didn't want to pry.
Thank you, Twilight. It's not a very pleasant memory.
What happened?
I was there by myself. No co-counsel. The prosecutor was a complete stranger, and one that didn't trust me either. The star witness cared more about their own affairs than giving a decent testimony. Of course, I didn't think much of it. I was arrogant, and I thought I could handle all of it. And in the end, I paid the price.
What was it that caused you to get disbarred?
I presented forged evidence.
What? No, that had to have been a mistake.
It was. Mr. Wright didn't know about it at all. He thought it was a legitimate piece of evidence.
Except I had no proof I didn't know. So they stripped me of my badge regardless.
I had no idea about any of that. I mean, I knew you were disbarred. We met when you weren't a lawyer after all, but I can't believe it.
And then there was the time I met Apollo.
What? Me?
when you defended me, remember? And what I had to do in order to trap the one responsible for me losing my badge.
Mr. Wright, do we need to bring that up?
What are you talking about? Bring what up?
When he was my attorney, I gave Apollo evidence to use in his first trial, to force the killer to admit to the crime. Only this time, it was evidence I really did forge.
Is that true, Mr. Wright?
Yes, sadly. Do you see my point, Athena? How one mistake made while trying to go it alone can lead you down a path you never imagined yourself going down? One you still regret to this day? Because the truth is, I'm worried that you'll make a similar mistake and ruin your life like I nearly did.
I understand. Thank you, boss. I'm sorry to have been so boneheaded.
It's okay, Athena.
I mean it, though. I can tell that you're being serious.
I'm a real whirlwind of emotions right now, I'm guessing.
Yeah. I've never seen or heard you like this before. So I promise that I'll take what you said to heart. For Mr. Wright to reveal something like that, I can't go against what I've just said. So that's it. No more self-pity. No more stubbornness. No more.
Sorry for making things a little awkward, everyone.
Ain't nothing you gotta apologize for, Phoenix. Talking about something like that takes courage. It's mighty admirable.
It's getting quite late. I think I'd better be off for now.
Oh, no. Don't worry, Sonata. You can stay here.
It's fine. I have a room at the Hay and Stay Hotel.
Wow! You're a regular at that place. Aren't you?
When I'm not in prison, at least. I do enjoy it there, admittedly.
I reckon we're gonna head off too. If these two gals are gonna be at the trial tomorrow, they'll need some shut-eye. Ready, you two?
Sure thing, sis. Uh-huh. See you all tomorrow.
Good night, you two. Sleep well.
I'd like to stay for a little longer. If that's okay.
No worries, Fluttershy. What about you, Pinky? No party, I'm afraid. We're a bit too tired for it.
That's A-okay. We can have fun in other ways. Just tell me how the trial went. I hope you're ready for a long story, Pinky. Yay! It can be right past my bedtime story.
Maybe tell her about something else, Trucy.
Huh?
Today wasn't my finest hour, Pinky. I made a pretty wild accusation towards someone and blamed them for something they clearly didn't do.
Oh, well, I know what that's like. It's no fun when that happens. But hey, you know better now, right? And you're sorry about it, so no pony's gonna hold it against you. Trust me.
You're right. Thanks, Pinky.
I'll be heading back to Carousel Boutique, darlings. I tried to clean it up as best as I can after today's incident, but I won't be satisfied until it's spotless.
Just relax for now, Rarity. You had a rough day.
I'll accompany you, Miss Rarity. My hotel is on the way.
Oh, you're ever so kind, Sonata. Thank you. Good night, every pony. I'll speak to you tomorrow at the trial.
I should probably get some sleep too. 2 trials back to back is pretty rough, and tomorrow probably won't be any easier.
Is that it? No. Oh.
What? Where am I? Is this Twilight's castle? Hello? Is any pony there? That's strange. Where is everyone? I could have sworn we all went to bed together. Oh, Twilight, thank goodness. Do you know where everyone went?
How could you?
Huh?
Nightmare.
Twilight?
How could you not listen to me? I thought we were friends. Don't you trust me?
Twilight, what are you talking about? Of course I do.
You accused Sakura! You were trying to make ponies hate her!
Still
because
like this.
you hate her too!
What? Apple Bloom, no! That's not true!
To think that you would do something so stupid.
No magic trick or sleight of hand will save you from this mistake.
Apollo, Trucy, wait, let me explain. I was just...
To think I once believed you'd take us into a new age of law. I regret ever having met you, ever having given you a chance. You're nothing but a screw-up.
No! Boss, please!
Screw up. Screw up. Screw up. Screw up. Screw up.
No, I'm not! Stop it! Get away from me! Get out of my head! Get out of my head! Get out of my head!
I was right. It's a wow.
Princess Luna? What are you doing here in Twilight's castle? Shouldn't you be back in Canterlot?
I should, but I am not. And neither are you in Twilight's castle.
Huh?
Consider, Athena, what you just saw. The others have randomly disappeared, save for a select few of your friends, who began without warning to harass and taunt you.
Yeah, that was a little strange.
It was more than a little strange. It was completely out of character for them, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, wait. You're right! Boss has never been that mean before, but why was he...
There's an easy explanation for this, Athena. What you saw, what you heard, wasn't real. It was all in your mind. You were having a nightmare.
Nightmare? You mean I'm dreaming?
That is correct.
But wait. Then what are you doing here? Are you part of my dream too? Sheesh. Dreaming about the prosecutor? That can't be a good sign.
No, Athena. You did not dream me into existence. I am in fact as real as you are.
That's a weird...
Then, how are you here exactly?
I am the Princess of the Night. Among the other powers afforded to me, it's my duty to watch over every pony's dreams.
Wait! You literally go into people's dreams?
On a nightly basis, yes. From this dreamscape, I can enter the subconscious of anyone. Most of the time, it is to dispel the nightmares that sometimes plague this realm. Nightmares like the one you had, in fact.
Then, what you said in court, when you said you deal with psychological issues every night... This is what you meant?
Indeed it is. All ponies dream, and all have their share of nightmarish scenarios and make-believe manifestations of their inner doubts and anxieties. It is my duty to combat them so that the dreamers may dream in peace.
That's incredible. Luna must be extremely powerful to be able to banish any and all nightmares. Hang on. You say you can enter anyone's dreams. I've been here in Equestria for a few days, so why haven't I seen you until now?
I try my best to only intercede when the nightmares are of an incredibly tumultuous sort, Athena. It would be an immense invasion of privacy were I to step willy-nilly into some pony's subconscious whenever I felt like it. Though, that does not mean I am limited in what I can do and see while in the dreamscape. In fact, it is here that I was able to determine I would be facing you and Twilight in the trial.
So we couldn't even keep that from you, could we?
I detect a note of bitterness in your voice, Athena. Is something the matter?
No, of course not, Princess Luna. I was just... well, actually, yeah. There is something that's been bothering me.
Perhaps talking about it may help. That is the psychological thing to do, yes?
Yeah, but it's It's a bit awkward.
And why's that?
Well, it's about you, Princess Luna. Not only did you know about Twilight and me being the defense, but you also actively kept us out of the loop when it came to your motives during the trial. More than that, you told Scootaloo and Turning Page to not tell us anything. It wasn't until halfway through the trial that I realized that everything you were doing was in order to help them. You kept dropping hints, trying to guide me to a specific argument, while still keeping me on a leash and rebutting every argument I made. You definitely knew more than you let on. And what Equity said. I guess I just don't understand what you were doing. I can tell you're trying to help us, but how does keeping us in the dark accomplish that? Or were we working towards the same goal? Were we both trying to save Scootaloo and Turning Page?
I had a feeling this conversation would happen sooner or later. And before you ask, no, it is not because I saw it in your dreams.
I actually wasn't thinking that.
I understand you're frustrated with me. My answer is a bit complicated, but I shall attempt to explain. My reason for withholding information from you and Twilight Sparkle had nothing to do with being the prosecutor. It had to do with me being unsure of both of you.
Unsure of both of us?
I am familiar enough with Twilight Sparkle to know she means well, but you, I must confess, are a complete stranger. I knew of your connection to Phoenix Wright, but as to your heart, I was unsure. I, regrettably, did not know if I could trust both of you, not only to work together, but to work with me as well. As such, I thought it pertinent to keep you at hoof's length. Even so, I also knew I had to rely on the two of you to free both Scootaloo and Turning Page. Thus, I attempted to act in such a way as to guide you to proving their innocence, without giving away that I was trying to do so.
You mean, you knew they were innocent?
From the very beginning, and I believed if you followed my guidance, that would inevitably be proven.
But why all the secrecy? Why not just tell the judge that you knew they were innocent? Why keep being the prosecutor?
It is one of those situations where my hooves were tied before I had begun to unravel the mystery itself. You will recall, no doubt, what I said during the beginning of the trial about the original prosecutor being allocated elsewhere?
Yes.
Before they'd managed to build such a case against Turning and Scootaloo that I could not merely drop the charges held against them. It may have been deemed suspicious or represent a conflict of interest. The judge might have thought I held an unfair bias towards the defendants, and would have chosen to appoint another prosecutor, one who did not harbor my sympathies.
In which case, Turning and Scootaloo might have been found guilty in the end.
Quite right. My only available course of action was to take on the case as the lead prosecutor and hope that, despite the odds being stacked against you, you could find the truth. Even if I wasn't sure I could trust you, I wanted to believe that you could do that. I am glad to discover my anxieties were greatly misplaced. Still, I cannot take back what I have done. My decision not to trust you was my own, and it could very well have hurt your case. And it is with significant guilt that I say, were I facing Phoenix Wright in court instead, I doubt I would have treated him as I treated you. For that, I am truly sorry, Athena.
Being forced to continue the prosecution's case despite not initially wanting to, and regretting having to do what you thought was necessary when, in the end, it ended up hurting people. I can definitely relate to that. Huh. Who would have thought I'd relate to two princesses?
That's why she
Princess
was screaming.
Luna?
Yes, Athena?
Something I've been told all throughout this case, and especially after today's trial, is that we have to move on from our mistakes at some point or another. We can't be bogged down by what we've done. We can only learn and hope to do better, or try to do better. And we can only hope we don't make the same mistake twice. I understand what you did and why you did it. I wish you didn't, but I get it. And I'm willing to set that aside. If it means, together, we can find the truth about what happened to Royal Order.
I believe Phoenix Wright would be proud to hear you say that, Athena. And I would very much like to work with you too, in order to discover the truth. Though I understand if you still have reservations about trusting me.
Actually, there may be a way to address those reservations.
Really?
I don't really know if you can give me any answers about this, but recently we learned something interesting about Royal Order. During the trial, both you and Private Eye said that, while he was an excellent member of the Royal Guard, there was nothing all that significant about his position or status. But that wasn't the whole truth, was it? We found out that he was meant to be the next captain of the Royal Guard. That seems highly indicative of not only his abilities, but his reputation in the ranks. But you and Private Eye saw fit to hide that information from not just us, but the general public as well. Why?
I'm afraid I cannot disclose that information. It is not out of mistrust for you, however. It is of a nature far more sensitive than I am at liberty to say.
I see. To be honest, I suspected that. This seems like too huge of a detail to just sweep under the rug over a matter of trust. But what could be her reason?
However, if you really are interested in knowing, then I suggest you and the rest of your team stay in Equestria once this case is over.
Stay? Even longer? Not that I would mind, but Apollo and the agency.
That being said, how did you know he was supposed to be the next captain?
Oh, some pony told us about it. The Lawkeeper?
Lawkeeper Equity.
Yeah? I guess you know of her since she's part of the High Council.
We've met a few times. Was there anything else she told you?
Well, she talked about her lack of trust in others, and how trust is naive. And that made me think about what's going on now with regards to Sweetie Belle. I'm not sure if I can fully trust her. All throughout this case, Sweetie's been hiding something, and even though she accepted my help, it's like she isn't sure she wants the truth to be known. And if that's the case, then how can I put my trust in her if she won't put her trust in me? I think what Lawkeeper Equity said is really getting to me.
To have a belief that extreme, to think trusting others is a mark of naivete, it must have come out of some profound personal injury or sense of injustice. I suppose I can sympathize. I myself was once overcome by a bitterness so encompassing, it transformed me.
Nightmare Moon.
But still, I believe you must, if nothing else, trust that in the end, the truth will be found. Never mind what the Lawkeeper has said.
I know, but it's hard sometimes. Like stumbling around in the dark hoping you'll find a light switch. Except you don't know if the room you're in even has one.
Trust is a leap of faith, Athena. That's all it ever is. Nevertheless, I can say with certainty that Sweetie Belle is not the culprit.
That's what I want to believe too. But then, who else could it be?
It is likely the other ponies involved. Either Fair Devotion, or Sugar Stamp, or perhaps even both.
Yeah, it makes sense. Both would have more reason to kill Royal Order than Sweetie Belle. And yet, something about that seems off to me. I feel like I'm missing some vital clue.
Unfortunately, Athena, I believe it is time that I depart. The dreamscape is vast, and I must continue my duties in protecting it.
Right. I won't keep you any longer. Thank you, Princess Luna.
No, Athena. Thank you for showing me I can trust you to find the truth in any way you can.
Find the truth, huh? In any way I can.
Is that the end? Hold up. Hold up. Okay. It is right. Apollo Justice, Trucy. Lawkeeper. SKVA. Great job. Wow. Amazing. Amazing job. But it's fine. I have a room at this Hay and Stay Hotel. Why was that typed out? And who was walking around the castle? Is Rainbow Dash correct in not trusting her? We have a reason to not trust her completely, because she's hiding something from us, because she was specifically told by Lawkeeper Equity to investigate this. So she knows more about this case than she's letting on. Probably even more than Private Eye does. But why? Why? Of course Sweetie Belle isn't the killer. That was common sense. But why? Why? I'm just questioning why. There's a question there somewhere, but I can't think of it. This whole thing has just got me questioning. I feel it's both. No. It's I don't feel it's both. I feel it's either both or Fair Devotion. I don't believe it's Sugar Stamp. Unless she's that great of a deception. Unless she's that great at deception. When she was talking about bitterness, when she was talking about everything, she seemed grateful and not bitter enough to kill. And not even in love enough to kill. So why? The only thing I can think of is that she is protecting Fair Devotion. But the way Fair Devotion said that about her husband, I can't... Unless they're very great at deception, I can't believe either of them will kill. I can't. But they're the only others that we've seen. And what does Lawkeeper Equity have to do with this whole case, and maybe the case before? There's something of a bigger picture going on, and Luna even said it herself. And that's the reason they can't say to the public that Royal Order was in line to be captain. But Equity just said it nonchalantly and blatantly, like it didn't matter. Yeah. I love these investigation ones, but I hate them as well because, oh my gosh, they just get so many more questions and like no answers. We also got no answers of why Sweetie Belle was in the forest. and she definitely saw the killer. So she's protecting someone as well. There's no way she didn't. So why? And she's keeping things from us. But why? And she was on the verge of tears because she knew the truth was out. And she knew that she couldn't hide anymore. So she's crying because she knows who the killer is. Or she's remembering the scene. I don't know. I can't wait to the next one though. Alright. Hope y'all enjoyed this video. Please leave a like if y'all did. Because I certainly did. They're just getting better and better. I just keep saying that. You keep getting better and better. And with that, if y'all did enjoy, please consider subscribing because I do these kind of videos all the time. I react. I sometimes play games when I get to work. And if y'all do consider if y'all do hit that subscribe button, wow, messed up the outro. Please hit that notification bell so you won't miss another video that I post, like this one that I'm about to. And please leave a comment down below of anything I should react to next, any fan reactions, any fan-made things, just like this. I love fan-made things. They're so creative. Always so creative, and I love it. Alright, I've been recording for about over 2 hours, so I'm going to quit rambling and just end this video right here. Alright, I'll see you on the next one.